The writer, Miguel Asturias, wrote, "There is a belief that trees breathe the breath of those who inhabit graveyards. And so it is that every Sabbath, I make my pilgrimage to this place to breathe the breath of my dead husband. This I do in remembrance of him."
Excuse me, Senora.
What do you want?
Permit me to introduce myself.
I know who you are.
But we've never met.
I know your face. From the newspapers.
I had no idea it was so well known. I simply wanted to pay my respects.
My husband has been dead 3 months now.
I wanted to give you time. I was an admirer of your husband. From my very own garden, if I may.
I won't allow it.
This is blasphemy. To enter a cemetery with a gun.
Men like you are the blasphemy.
I am not armed. I am a legitimate mourner. I believe that flowers soothe the spirit of the deceased.
And the conscience of the living?
My conscience is clear.
I am glad to hear it.
All my actions have been guided by one concern, the good of my country. My dreams are untroubled. At night, I sleep the peaceful sleep of the patriot.
What a shame the government did not appreciate your dedication.
But they have.
Then why have you been removed?
A trivial matter. The Americans were threatening to cut off aid because of certain abuses. The word they used. Someone had to be sacrificed. As always, I am happy to serve. I've had assurances from those in high office. I will be reinstated once the spotlight turns elsewhere.
Perhaps it won't.
This question of human rights, it's like a toy to the Yankees. Every few years, they pick it up and rattle it a bit. Then a newer, shinier toy distracts them, and they drop it. Human rights, por favor.
What exactly did your husband die of, Senora Ruiz?
Surely you can answer that question better than I.
How could I possibly?
He died of what you did to him in your prison.
No. I must disagree. When he left, he was well.
I admired many qualities in your husband. His intelligence, his devotion to democratic principles, which perhaps were out of proportion to the reality of our situation.
he had a weakened heart.
Did he? Had he gone abroad as advised?
Phone calls?
In the middle of the night,
No, Paloma.
Had he listened, perhaps he would be alive today.
I am moved by your concern.
Senora Ruiz, Argentina is fragile. Certain freedoms that stronger countries enjoy would be too much of a strain. Your husband didn't understand this. We had many discussions about it.
You tortured him.
There is an art to what I do, Senora. Interrogation is a very private act.
And now you come here? I often wondered what I would feel if I ever met you. To look you in the eye and know you were the one.
And what do you feel, Senora? I see. Did your husband teach you this self-righteousness, or was it the other way around? After your husband and I grew to understand each other's point of view, he and I became quite close.
What do you mean?
At first, your husband was obstinate. He had to be induced to give me the names of his sources of information. Okay. I like to think of interrogation as a form of seduction. One resists, the other seeks to persuade. One withholds, the other tries to extract. And in the end, the sweet moment of surrender.
He told me everything. He gave me his picture of you. It does manage to suggest your beauty.
The bonds between us were so strong. After he had given me his information, we would amuse ourselves by discussing more private matters. The secrets of the marital bed. Sexual positions you enjoy. Paloma. You have a mole on your left breast.
You like to put on white underwear. A successful interrogation is as intimate as love. At the moment of ecstasy, you cry out to God. You see, things happened in your bed that only I know.
You know, Senora Ruiz, this is just like an American film I once saw. The wife comes to the funeral of her husband only to find that the husband's lover, whom she knew nothing about, is also there. The discovery crushes her. You are crushed, Senora Ruiz. Aren't you?
My husband was not a hero. He was an ordinary man. A good man. A man who did what he thought was right. A man who criticized the government in the newspaper. All the time I was afraid for him because I knew what could happen.
How sad for both of you that he didn't listen, huh?
Listo. One day when we have children, I want them to know that I was not afraid to tell the truth.
A man who loved his country. Who loved life.
You should let the tears come. It'll soothe you.
After my husband came home, he was not the same man. He hardly spoke. He sat in his room all day. He wouldn't touch me or let me touch him. At night, I could feel the bed shake with his trembling. But the worst thing was to look into his eyes, to realize that he no longer trusted me. That he wanted to hide himself from me. And I didn't know why. I didn't know. You didn't just take my husband, Coronel. You took me. You took my unborn children. I'm not afraid to show you my tears. After all, you have seen people shit and piss and blood on the floors of your prison. Why shouldn't you see my tears as well? I offer them to you. Go ahead. Look at them.
There is no need to raise your voice, Senora Ruiz.
But that is what you want me to do, Coronel. You want me to scream, to curse you, to make a spectacle.
I beg you to respect the sanctity of this place.
That is why you came here, isn't it? Patriota, defender of our country, hero. Yes, Coronel. You are the hero. Not men like my husband. You are the one who protects us. How fortunate that the government recognizes this. And yet, they haven't called you back. How long has it been? 5 months? You must be concerned. Perhaps a little desperate, are you? Oh yes, I can see it. The color of your shirt is a little frayed. Your mustache needs trimming. You're wearing too much aftershave. What are you trying to hide?
You're imagining things, Senora.
Ah, I see. From time to time, you like to dress up in your little uniform. Your hand is shaking, Coronel. Is it excitement, or do you need a drink? The whiskey loosens your tongue. You begin to tell the man next to you about the things you did in your prison. When you look in his eyes, you know you exist, yes? Sooner or later, someone will report your words to someone else. The report will be passed on. And they will come for you, just like you came for my husband. Only they won't be your men anymore. and they won't listen to you beg!
You know nothing about me! You're a deranged widow!
I have gypsy blood in me, Coronel!
You're a pathetic Jewess! Your husband was weak. He was no match for me. I broke him easily. A typical pseudo-intellectual con idea de mierda. I send him back to you, useless and impotent. Now when you cry and reach for him in the middle of the night and you don't see him, you will only see me. Because I'm the one who's responsible.
Save these for someone else's funeral.
You have the weakness of your need, Coronel. I have the strength of my grief. As the sun set, the trees murmured softly, "Never again. Never again. Nunca más. Nunca más. Never again." And when morning breaks, we will see who made it through the night.